when they're forced to tell the story, they will belittle it. And why is that? Look at the advertisers. Meat, dairy, pharmaceutical. They are literally beholden to the very industries that are creating this crisis.
Nobody likes the idea that animals are slaughtered for our food. We just accept it as something that is necessary in order for us to survive. And it's not until you deconstruct that myth and build a new house on top of a new foundation that you can make that journey back towards that natural disposition of compassion.
What I discovered is that when one person is willing to take the lead, so many people are willing to step up and join the cause.
What's being revealed to us is the most beautiful purpose that we can all share in the most greatest life purpose that you could dream of, which is to bring life back and create a beautiful world.
Like I tell people, if something is important to you, no matter how hard it is, you'll be able to do it.
Because once you're compassionate with yourself, then you can be compassionate with everyone else. And I think that's really key.
Truth is like a lion. We don't have to defend it. We have to put it out there and it will defend itself.
The Crackdownals, Murder King, Taco Hell, Wind Disease, Chokers, Bow Strangles, and the International House of Pulmonary Heart Disease. How can we take the food that they've grown accustomed to, they like the taste, make it healthy, and still get them to come inside and check it out?
A vegan is someone who doesn't want to hurt animals unnecessarily. Who wants to hurt animals unnecessarily? Nobody. Then you're all vegans.
All around this great big world, I'm gonna let it shine all around.
Imagine compassion encircling the world and everyone loving each other and all the animals free and everything with all the animals free and all the people free and everyone loving each other. And here we go. Lift our hands up and go. Or, not way up there, I meant just off the table. Okay, ready? And hands down a little bit more. We can see your face. Okay, ready? And oh, let's do it one more time. On three. Let's start with me. Be loud. 1, 2, 3.
Potato.
This is my daughter Melody. She was the inspiration and the star of the documentary A Prayer for Compassion, where we explored the teachings of compassion at the heart of many of today's spiritual and religious traditions. It was her birth and discovering the devastating effects of animal agriculture on the planet that motivated me to make the film. Because as a parent, I'm very concerned about the world that our children and the children of all species are going to inherit. The lifestyles that we're choosing to live has totally disrupted the natural balance of the planet. According to a 2020 report by the World Wildlife Fund, human activity has wiped out nearly 70% of the planet's wild animals in just the last 50 years. And if we continue down this path of normalized violence, we're on track to eradicate all of the Earth's wild animals in less than a decade.
We are climate healers. Welcome to a vegan world. Welcome to a vegan world. Welcome to a vegan world by 2026.
We had our first public preview of A Prayer for Compassion at the first Vegan World 2026 conference in Mesa, Arizona. The conference was organized by Climate Healers and its founder, Dr. Sailesh Rao, who is a system specialist and was one of the team of electrical engineers who actually created the internet.
I went through something very similar with the internet. We did exactly the same thing during the internet era. A whole bunch of people got together and we decided to create these documents that list out the best practices for how do you make any connection on the internet. Just best practices. In most cases, we just took what was already there and said that seemed to be the best way to do it. And we endorsed it. And wherever they didn't know how to do it, we actually set up a task force and we figured out how to do it. And we wrote up this document and published it for free. So it was all done by volunteers. The entire internet was done by volunteers. So we all got to these meetings and we had to take off our corporate hats. We had to work as individuals. And our work product had to be given away. It was all open source. So that's the how of what we did in the internet. And that's exactly the how of what we are going to do for Vegan World 2026.
Yes. I just wanted the chance to publicly thank all of you for working on this film. It's meant so much to me personally. And when I've watched it, it's like I don't feel alone. I just resonate with so many of you, and I just want to thank you for that.
This is actually, it's a gift to everyone because you can use this film as a tool in your communities to do this sort of faith-based outreach and share it. This is what it's for.
After the preview screening of A Prayer for Compassion, we had what would be the first of many Q&As that I'd soon be giving.
What's that falling on your head?
Snow!
Did you finally find snow in New York?
Uh-huh.
After 6 years of looking, you finally found the snow?
Yep.
You like it?
Uh-huh.
Melody and I traveled to New York City for A Prayer for Compassion's world premiere and shared an Airbnb with our friends Maya and Carrie, who were also in the film. And Melody finally got to play in the snow for the first time.
Some called it my nose.
We have the filmmaker and the producer here. So Victoria Moran. Hello.
Hey, Jane and Jane people. We're so excited to be here and help people who identify as religious or spiritual open up to vegan values.
Hey, we're so excited you can join us tonight. We're having such a wonderful time. There's so many compassionate souls here, so many incredible people that were in the film and people that just have gravitated to this important message of compassion for all beings.
Maya just flew in from Israel and arrived last night.
Exactly, straight to the premiere. Great to be with you guys. It's awesome over here.
You're excited to be here?
Super excited. Super exciting. It's just to see something from an idea to come into reality and to see all this festive and vegan feast over here. It's amazing.
For all the work we did to have the premiere and have it be sold out with 479 seats in the theater, it's just incredible.
Really excited to be here. Everybody, please go and see A Prayer for Compassion as soon as you're able to. There are going to be screenings all over, and after the screenings, then it's going to be available.
We have a very special guest who's actually a member of our host committee and quite a luminary in New York City. And guess what? He eats plants, and that is Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams.
For 22 years of my life, I spent being a protector and server of the city as a police officer, and I wore bulletproof vests protecting the children and families of the city. The latter part of my life, I'm going to wear that same psychological bulletproof vest as I protect the animals of this country.
I love your word about evangelicity. Let's say it.
Evangelical.
Yes, evangelical, because we want people to know we have this thing that makes us feel great, not only physically, but every person I interviewed started within 2 or 3 weeks their health improved, but within a year or two their connection to all of life felt, whether they came in for the environment, whether they came in for their health, they connected with animals, they connected with other people, they more deeply with their own spirituality, every one of them.
We're not trying to change any of our religions. We're just trying to elevate things that are in the religion and trying to get people to pay attention to it.
Believe it or not, churches work on money just like most other businesses. And you're getting this from a pastor, so you can pass it on now.
Well, we all eat, and we all eat several times a day, and Jesus ate with his followers all the time. And so I love the fact that we have at least 3 times a day where we can worship God and show people how much we love his creation and love one another by how we eat, and it's just a way to bear witness, because we're going to eat every day, and you can just take that thing that we used to take for granted or just did quickly and just use it as a demonstration of your love for all creation.
Hey, my friends, I got something to tell. I got a tip that will help you stay well. Now is the time to go vegan. It'll help you feel young and healthy again. Not only will it help you, it'll help the ecosystem too.
After the premiere, Maya followed us down to Florida and we spent some time at Rooterville. And we even got to check out a new farm sanctuary called Critter Creek.
So this is Elvis. Yeah, he's such a baby. Yeah. I always knew that some sort of animal sanctuary rescue thing was in my future. In fact, shortly after Chris and I got married, I told him, we're going to have to make enough money that we can buy a big chunk of property, and it's going to have a creek on it somewhere, because it's going to be called Critter Creek.
Oh, so you knew the name before.
Yes,
Good.
I knew the name already.
Good.
And however many years later, here we are.
Usually in this age, they're already castrated, and after removing their teeth and everything.
And their tails.
No tails, Were they born before they came here?
The piglets, yes.
They were born in the Humane Society in Maryland. Do you plan on keeping them all? You don't do any rehoming?
There are some other sanctuaries that have said that they would take some of the babies once they're weaned.
You're a veterinarian?
I'm a veterinarian from Israel.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful.
And Thomas is the producer of this movie. It's very
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I didn't get. Okay. It's got
Did
his
you
name
see
right
the
on
name?
it. No, I have not seen it.
Oh, okay.
Then once again, we had to say goodbye to Maya as she flew back home to Israel.
All traditions teach us that there's going to be suffering. You're going to be on this planet, you're going to hurt your toe, you're going to fall down, you're going to suffer in some way. It's going to happen. Prepare yourself. If you haven't suffered yet, you probably will at some point, which I imagine most everybody has. But after taking this journey, when I look around, what I see around me is a lot of unnecessary suffering, especially in my family. I'm seeing people heal themselves of arthritis and of cancers and of heart disease and of all of these conditions, while I'm watching my family, people who are my age and younger, and going into the hospitals and having surgeries, having things cut out of them, having stents put in their heart, having all of these things done that I know are unnecessary. My cousin who has a heart stent, I went and visited him in the hospital, and that night they brought him his menu for the next day, and they had bacon on the menu. They were offering bacon after he had his heart stent, and I'm just like, oh my God. How much suffering do you really want to have?
We are here at the Factory Farm Experience. Our goal is to show people what's going on in the factories, on the farm, and where the food comes from. A lot of people just really do not understand what truly goes on there. I feel like factories do a really good job of hiding that. So this is an experience for people to walk through to be able to understand where their food really comes from. The fish, the cows, the pork, all of the above.
Where are we going, Melody?
The vegan mac and cheese contest.
Woohoo! That's right, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Animal Hero Kids is going to have a vegan mac and cheese contest with 6 restaurants providing amazing mac and cheese. We're going to have Tori Washington, the bodybuilder, is going to be there. We're going to compare muscles. Deegan Evan and Shannon will be there, his mom. We're going to make new friends and eat some yummy vegan mac and cheese, all for a good cause, all to help teach kids about being kind and compassionate to animals.
When I became vegan in the mid-1980s, I never would have thought there would have been so many explosions of vegan food on the market today. And what a change. And do any kids want to say anything about why they're vegan? Yes? Okay. Come on up.
Because animals don't want to die, it's healthier for you, it's better for the environment, and it's better for everyone overall.
After months of sharing the film in cities throughout the country, we'd finally organized a local screening where we'd be able to share the elixir of a compassionate vegan lifestyle with our non-vegan family and friends.
Alrighty. Is everybody ready? Yeah. Okay, I want to do one thing. Everybody, I'm going to count to 3 and we all take a deep breath together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Deep breath. We'll let it out. Afterwards, we're going to have a great Q&A. You can ask any questions, and I'll tell you about the next film and what's coming up. Thank you, and let's roll. Thank you, family, for being here. Thank you for having me. My family's here. They were in the movie. And, applause. I appreciate each of you, and I love you all. And I want to take some questions, and then I'll tell you what we're doing next. Any questions?
Comment, a friend actually called me this morning and was talking about coming from Alabama family, eating meat, in the South, the deep South, all of a sudden wanting to look at being vegetarian. And this film is one of the best I could have imagined ever being made for that, because I've been resisting going from vegetarian to being full vegan, and I always thought vegans were Nazis. And you don't even have to preach. I'm quite easily convinced. And I think just as easily someone who's going from meat all the way to vegan could easily be convinced without much preaching just by seeing this.
Though my mom and dad and the rest of my family said they loved the movie, none of them were ready to give a vegan lifestyle a try.
Where are we going?
London, Paris, Scotland.
All right. Are you excited?
Uh-huh.
Me too. We're about to take off on our international journey, sharing compassion all over the world. We're going to make a compassionate world before it's over with, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Peace.
Plant-Based News and Brightzine invited us to visit the UK for a London premiere of A Prayer for Compassion at the Prince Charles Cinema.
This is a very interesting and special film. It's quite a different film, so it's quite a challenge to encourage people to come and watch it, because it's not often we talk about spirituality, religion and veganism, but it's a wonderful film and I think will change many lives. And I'd like to obviously welcome the director, Thomas Wade Jackson, on the stage to talk about the film before we begin, and then we'll go straight into it. Thank you.
Hello, cheers, London, cheers. If you haven't been to Genesis, we found Genesis today. What a treat. By the way, I asked the guy, I said, is this because of the verse in Genesis? And he didn't know, but when I saw Adam and Eve, yes, Genesis 1:29, everybody. And you'll see that in the film tonight. That's why I brought it. I just want to let everybody know I'm so grateful that you came out tonight. It's just really beautiful. This is mine and Melody's first trip to London, and we're having a wonderful time. Everybody's been wonderful in the vegan food. Oh my Lord, like everywhere you go. So anyway, the film is hopefully inspiring with a little bit of stuff that most of you already know. And if you don't know it, you should sit still and take it in and meditate on it. Thank you.
After the screening, one of my animal rights activist heroes, Earthling Ed, joined us on stage for our Q&A.
The first thing is to educate yourself, and then to practice. And so I always say, practice getting these arguments out, practice how you speak to someone, get your partner to say something to you like, oh, protein, and then you respond to it going, protein with the nuts and seeds and grains and legumes and the green vegetables. And so just get used to saying information, because I think part of the problem is often we get ourselves in a dialogue and someone says something and we're like, oh God, what do I say?
We're the vegans, all right.
The next day, Melody and I got a chance to take in some of the magic and charm of London before we boarded a very crowded train bound for Aberdeen, Scotland. Once we made it to Aberdeen, we stayed on the rocky coast of the North Sea, right next to the remains of an 800-year-old castle, with our new friends Vishnu and Rebecca, who had organized our Scotland premiere with Vegan Outreach Scotland.
I started out trying to save the planet for our children, but in the end I came away going, there's so much unnecessary suffering, and it's all caused by the dollars we're laying down, the choices we're making,
And if we meditated a little bit, decided that we should take care of our body temples, like every tradition that I explored has common things. Take care of your body, because the temple, it's a temple for the spirit. We're all connected by that spirit. That spirit animates everything. Whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care what you call it, but it's in you, and it's more solid when you're in alignment. So I know I'm preaching right now.
From Scotland, we flew to Paris, France, where a screening we were planning had fallen through, so instead we got to be tourists for a day before heading back to Florida and our home in the woods.
She was 3 years old, and her mom and side of the family, they're not vegan, but she lives vegan with both sides because she chooses to. And at 3, I said, I love you no matter what you do. I want you to know this, And she said, I want to be vegan. And I said, why do you want to be vegan? And she said, because vegans are cool. And I thought, that's pretty. And then she said, and I trust vegans. And I thought, you're right. They'll never eat you. You know that.
I flew solo to Los Angeles for our LA premiere. And the next night, we had an outdoor screening and Q&A at the all-vegan organic cafe in Santa Monica.
If you're familiar with the distinction between a Torah principle and a rabbinic principle, a Torah principle being elevated above a rabbinic principle, the rabbis elevated the concept of tsar balei chayim, not causing pain to animals, to being a Torah principle because of how many times it's spoken about in the Torah regarding treating animals properly.
The idea is to get these leaders to address this issue because it's like an elephant in the room. Al Gore, I tried to get him to talk about it. I was part of his climate reality project, and I spent a lot of effort trying to get him to talk about it. He went vegan as a result of that. All of his training is vegan, so anyone who goes to his training is now only getting vegan food. But of the 541 slides he gives to his people, there are 0 slides on veganism.
You're live on Lunch Break Live with the amazing director of A Prayer for Compassion. Tell us who you are and what you're doing here in California.
My name is Thomas Wade Jackson, and I'm here. Last night we had the LA premiere for our film. It was an amazing premiere. And we're going to make some ooey gooey pasta. My daughter, who inspired the film and who is in the film, this is one of her favorite dishes.
Okay.
And it's my specialty, so let's do it.
All right, let's do it. There's a reason they call it the Food and Drug Administration. First, they need you to eat the bad food. Then they need you to get sick. Then they can sell you all these drugs. And we're starting to see how toxic the system is. And it's got to the point where the smart money is starting to see, hey, we all have to transition to a plant-based society because it doesn't matter how many billions of dollars a company or an industry makes. If there's nobody to sell to because humans have gone extinct, then it's a lose-lose. So this is one simple change. And the good news is people are waking up. And it's thanks to social media. The information that the young people are getting, they're getting through social media. They're not sitting in front of the boob tube watching commercials 24/7. They're on Instagram. They're seeing the pig gestation crates. They're seeing the slaughterhouse footage. They're seeing the pig vigils. They're seeing the cubes of truth. They're seeing the reality, and they're rejecting meat and dairy in droves.
While I was in LA, I visited my friend Jane Velez Mitchell and made her a little ooey gooey pasta. Jane is a television and social media journalist, author, and founder of Jane Unchained, a multi-platform social media news outlet that produces original video content on animal rights and a vegan lifestyle.
Here's how bad the media is, the mainstream media. Just the other day, there was a study that came out that said chicken is cancer causing. Several newscasters on a big show sat there making fun of that, joking, well, today they say it causes cancer, tomorrow, they'll say the exact opposite. I know how these things go. Imagine if they had done the same thing about cigarettes or vaping. There'd be a national uproar. No, scientists have determined that chicken causes cancer. Take it seriously. But they're in the system that's profiting off of all of this, so they're just not going to report the truth responsibly. Do you think these newscasters who were making fun of the fact that scientists were saying chicken is cancer-causing did any research? One Google search would show you that processed meat is cancer-causing. The World Health Organization has determined that it's a carcinogen and that red meat is a probable carcinogen. So the evidence is there. And these mainstream institutions, like the media, just don't want to look at it.
At Jane's, I sat down for an interview with Supreme Master Television.
Having empathy for another's suffering, that's the first half of compassion. If you only have that, you really only have empathy. The second half is to the point of being motivated to take action to alleviate that suffering. So the second half is being motivated to do something. And so I like to tell people that, eating a plant-based diet is doing something 3 or 4 times a day. You're taking an action 3 or 4 times a day to vote when you buy it and to take care of your body when you eat it, and to be an example for those around you who are watching your health improve and your energy improve. So once I realized that compassion was an action, I thought, yeah, I really want to make this about compassion.
We get together, we get together,
After a few days back home, Melody and I loaded up Sophia II and set out on a road trip to Kansas City to screen A Prayer for Compassion at the Unity Minister Conference.
I look at my role as awakening people who already have spiritual values of love and peace and harmony and mercy and all of those things. I know that when you live in alignment with that, in your actions, that everything changes inside you. Your body, your temperament, your everything. And you just feel so good and do a lot less projecting of what's wrong with the world. You feel more at peace with things. And so I look at my role more as awakening people versus telling them that mediating is bad.
We think we're good people. We like to call ourselves nice people. And yet this insidious thing that we're doing, exploiting animals whenever we're eating them or wearing them or using them for entertainment. Sometimes I think that dissonance in our soul results in some kind of unconscious self-loathing. Like we don't even know it's there. And that's another way that getting aligned with our values and our beliefs is it's a radical step in self-love. We release all of that dissonant energy and it allows us to just love ourselves.
While at the conference, I had the honor of meeting and interviewing Rev Carol Saunders, an ordained Unity and Interfaith minister and the host of the Spiritual Forum podcast. She is also a vegan animal rights activist.
When Jesus went into the temple, and the story goes that he was upset at the money changers. But if you really look at scripture, he went in there and he turned the tables and he freed the animals. If you look at the scripture, Jesus did the most bold thing there is to do, to go into the temple and free the animals. And he ended up getting killed for it.
Hello, Tar Heel, North Carolina. We are the Save Movement, and we are here for the animals going to slaughter. We are here for the chickens going to Sanderson Farm Slaughterhouse. We are here for the pigs going to Smithfield Packing. And we are here for you who work for animal agriculture and deserve better. Animal agriculture hurts people, it hurts the neighbors. It hurts animals who are in CAFOs and who are going to slaughterhouses. It hurts our health because it gives us heart attacks. What do we want?
Animal liberation!
How are we going to get it? Yes! Everybody go vegan. What do we want?
Animal liberation!
How are we going to get it?
Everybody's gotta go vegan.
That's right. Here comes the truck.
Our next stop was in Tar Heel, North Carolina, where we joined other animal rights activists for a North Carolina Farmed Animal Save Pig Vigil, just down the road from the largest slaughterhouse in the world.
How many do they slaughter there?
Between 33 to 50,000.
every day?
Yeah, it's the one day we did a 24-hour. We counted 374 trucks, and each truck has about 100 pigs on it.
Yeah,
give
we
or take.
used to say it was 33,000, and one of the workers stopped us and said, "Hey, it's 50,000
A day. Yeah.
every single day."
I just checked about 10 minutes ago, and it is actually 100 degrees here in Tar Heel, North Carolina. Feels like 109.
I come to bear witness to these animals and give a little bit of love and tell them that we're sorry that this happened. They go to slaughter and they're killed.
Hey everybody, so we're on day 1 of the 5-day save, where we're doing, I don't even know how many actions we're doing in 5 days, but we're doing 6 tomorrow. So some people will just hold the sign and not approach the truck because they don't want to do that.
Right.
Some people approach the truck and just bear witness. Some people photo document, and some people spray water, either spray it on the pigs just to cool them down a little bit, or try to give water into, squirt it into their
Usually
mouths.
they're too terrified to drink.
It's shocking. They're super hot. On a day like today, they're in heat distress. They're in a metal box they can't get out of. So
This is Thomas Wade Jackson, filmmaker of the newest amazing vegan documentary that is changing so many hearts and minds. A Prayer for Compassion.
I think people need to visit sanctuaries, and they need to come to the visuals like this, and they need to see both ends of it.
I agree.
They need to see the animals that are free and see the personalities and then see the ones here. They are shocked. They're trauma. Once you really know a pig and then you see a pig like that, you know that pig has shut down, that something in him has been broken, and it breaks my heart to think that any being, human, pig, chicken, any being is being broken in any way. We should all be free and able to live the life that God created for us. We all have a purpose, and we all have our own reason for being here.
I'm a evangelist because I have the gospel. What is the gospel? It's the good news. I have good news for you. I have good news for you that if you align yourself with your spiritual values, and I'll tell you, veganism is aligned with every spiritual path I studied. If you align yourself with that, you will feel better every day.
All right, everybody say vegan.